Welcome back. We're following the directions of the first set of compasses in the notebook, and some music has started playing now that we have reached the penultimate point. When we just have one run left, 17 seconds about due west, 420 units, which corresponds to 17 seconds according to the measurement we did before. So let me reset my stopwatch again, and let's run. A little bit of lag there, which can throw off your timing, but again, you don't need to be that precise, because you can already see where we're heading. There's these craters, I don't think they are craters actually, but something similar. They all have dark tops, and this one is hollow. And if you look at it from a distance, it appears much lighter at the top than the other ones. There is a cave here. And you can tell this one is actually pretty much right next to the structure in the start. So if you're just running around trying to figure out what to do here, you might find it by accident, which you can then again use as a clue that there's something here that you want to find. And this cave has a ladder that leads into it. So let's see what's down there.
If you're just running around, would you trigger the music?
Well, only if you happen to pass the proper point.
The trigger point.
The condition for getting the music is that you have to pass the point before the last point on the route before you reach this cave. And these caves are sometimes referred to as kivas, and that's, I think, because they resemble some caves made by some Indian tribe. I always forget what they're called.
The Hopi and the Zuni, but they're not caves. They're actually adobe structures that they built in the southwest of America. They built these cliff houses and these cliff walls, and these caves were ritual caves. Not caves, they were structures where they would come down and perform rituals. But you entered in them from the top.
Yeah, so some people refer to these things as kivas because they resemble them. I don't think they were used for the same purpose. Based on the notebook and the whole thing with the compasses, they probably used this as a navigational practice. That people just had to find these things like we're doing now. Although we're not sure of that. There's very little we actually know of this age besides what I've already told you. We definitely know that these kivas were made by the Guild of Surveyors because their symbol is very prominent in the center here, and it's also on these boxes. So they must have used it for something. But there's also another one of these stone slates here with the barrow writing on it, and I personally doubt that they were there back in the time when the surveyors still used this age. We can't be sure about that. There's no other information, but I personally don't think they were there back then. They were probably added maybe for the sake of the explorers, i.e. us, by the barrow or Isha or somebody related to the barrow. And it has writing on it, in mostly barrow writing, but also some English writing on the right here. It says, "Find your path in the stars." What the hell does that mean? What stars, by the way? It's bright daylight and it never changes. So there are no stars. The Starfisher? I don't know. And there's a symbol in the middle, and you can actually click on that. Let me just use the first-person view to look at that more clearly. It's a symbol of 4 circles, 2 closed ones and 2 open ones, around a stripe. And you can see you can touch it because your cursor changes. So let's find out what happens if we do. Part of the symbol lights up, and we link! And we both linked at the same time! That's strange.
Yeah.
Definitely some borrowed trickery going on here, and it's because of that that I don't think that the surveyors actually use this. And it's darker now. Let's take a look outside. The cave itself doesn't really seem to have changed anything, besides the fact that it's darker. So let's see what we can tell outside. Well, there's your stars. It's night now, which is interesting considering that the suns never appear to move while you're normally in the age. So probably this is a long time, either in the future or the past.
Well, and also look at the state of the central
structure.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, the structure is in disarray, to say the least.
Yeah, so it's probably the future then. This is a pretty nice starry sky, I have to say, and we can actually see a spiral galaxy here.
There's two.
And there's two of them, yeah. If you look around, there's actually two of them. This definitively disproves the idea that Minkara is actually that star in the Orion's belt, because there is no place in our galaxy where you can see two other spiral galaxies that big in the sky. Because there are no other spiral galaxies that close that you would be able to see them this big with the naked eye.
And how many of us knew that? Uh-oh.
Okay.
There appear to be some very prominent constellations, which probably means something.
Yeah,
the stars
some
are
of
very
these stars
bright.
are very, very bright compared to the surrounding ones. Well, if you remember what it said on the stone slate, it said, find your path in the stars. And if we draw the route we just took on a piece of paper, you can see that they form a pattern. And it sort of looks like that. And let's see if any of the constellations matches that. Well, definitely not this one. I'm using first-person view here because the third person that doesn't really let you look at the stars from where I'm standing right now, because it wants to look down into the kiva. That one looks about right. Has the right number of points. This would be the first point. And then we went south, southeast, and north, northeast, northeast, and west. So that could be the path we just took.
So
well, we found it. Now what do we do with it?
I think it means head off into it. Yes, that's what you're doing.
Let's see if maybe there is something in that direction. Okay, now I can use third-person view again. Maybe we can find another kiva or something in that way. I don't know. We'll just have to see what we find. Hey! The symbol we saw on the stone slate appears in the sky. It sort of looks like a portal, like the portal in the Pod Ages, although that one was a lot more sparkly. But it doesn't link us.
Oh no, but look what it did to the sky.
Oh. And that sound. You might recognize that sound as the sound that the Barrow make when they do their magic in Mist 5. And the
look.
The symbol.
The symbol just disappeared.
The symbol ran off. And the constellation we were following actually moved to be directly above our starting point. So let's run back there.
Much more important when you're further away, and you can't see.
Okay. Let's see. Well, it leads us. If we follow it again, it just leads us back to the our starting point. But because it's so broken down now, we can actually get inside and get at that Barrow stone. And it's the same deal here. It says find your path in the stars, and you can again touch the symbol. So let's see what happens if we do that again. Maybe it'll take us back to daytime. Yep, it did. And oh, look, the part of the symbol that lighted up when we touched the stone in the kiva now appeared here in the sky. Again, looking like a portal. But it doesn't seem to function. And that's because the symbol isn't complete yet. Well, there's 4 more sets of compasses, and 4 circles the symbol's missing, so I'm guessing we're going to have to find some more kivas, but we'll have to do that in the next video.